Is it just me, or do you ever wonder about the folks at the very top of these massive companies that touch our lives every single day? I mean, we pay our phone bills, stream our favorite shows, and rely on internet connectivity, often through the services of giants like Rogers Communications. And while we're thinking about our monthly expenses, a little question might just pop into your head: just how much does the person calling the shots at a company like that actually make? It's a question that sparks curiosity for a lot of reasons. For some, it's about understanding the landscape of corporate power and wealth distribution. For others, it's simply human nature to be interested in the lives and earnings of influential figures. And in a world where executive compensation often makes headlines, it's a valid inquiry to explore. Before we dive into the specifics of the Rogers CEO's compensation, let's take a step back and consider the broader context of executive pay. What factors even determine how much a CEO of a major telecommunications company earns? It's not just a random number pulled out of a hat. There's a complex interplay of company performance, industry benchmarks, the scope of their responsibilities, and the overall economic climate. Think about it. The CEO of a company like Rogers is responsible for the strategic direction of a massive organization with billions of dollars in revenue, tens of thousands of employees, and millions of customers. Their decisions impact everything from network infrastructure investments and technological innovation to customer service strategies and mergers and acquisitions. It's a high-stakes job that demands a unique skill set and a significant amount of experience. Compensation packages for CEOs are typically multifaceted. They rarely consist of just a base salary. Instead, they often include a mix of elements designed to incentivize performance and align the executive's interests with those of the shareholders. These can include base salary. This is the fixed amount of money the CEO receives on a regular basis, usually annually. It's the foundational component of their compensation. Bonuses. These are typically tied to the company's performance against specific financial or strategic goals. For example, a CEO might receive a bonus if the company achieves a certain level of revenue growth, profitability, or subscriber acquisition. Stock options. These give the CEO the right to purchase company stock at a predetermined price in the future. The idea is to incentivize them to increase the company's stock value, as their personal wealth will then also increase. Restricted stock units, RSUs. These are shares of company stock that are granted to the CEO but vest over a period of time. Once vested, the CEO receives the shares outright. This also encourages long-term commitment and aligns their interests with the company's long-term success. Perquisites and other benefits. These can include things like retirement contributions, health insurance, life insurance, and other benefits that are part of the overall compensation package. Understanding these different components is crucial when trying to get a complete picture of a CEO's total compensation. The base salary might be a significant number, but the bonuses and stock-based compensation can often dwarf it, especially in years where the company performs exceptionally well. Now, let's bring our focus to Rogers Communications. As one of Canada's largest telecommunications companies, it plays a vital role in the country's communication infrastructure and media landscape. The CEO of such a significant entity holds a position of considerable influence and responsibility. Over the years, Rogers has seen changes in its leadership. Understanding who the current CEO is and their tenure is important for context. As of today, April 15, 2025, the president and CEO of Rogers Communications is Tony Staffieri. He assumed the role in January 2022. Prior to this, he held various senior leadership positions within the company, including Chief Financial Officer. So, the question remains, how much does Tony Staffieri, as the CEO of Rogers Communications, actually make? To answer this, we need to delve into publicly available information. In many jurisdictions, including Canada where Rogers is headquartered, publicly traded companies are required to disclose the compensation of their top executives in their annual proxy statements. When these documents are filed with regulatory authorities and are accessible to the public. 1. www.cashdad.com www.cashdad.com Looking at Rogers Communications' publicly filed documents, specifically their Management Information Circular, which is the Canadian equivalent of a proxy statement, we can find detailed information about the compensation of their named executive officers, which includes the CEO. For the fiscal year 2024, which would have been reported in the spring of 2025, Tony Staffieri's total compensation would be detailed. Based on previous year's disclosures and trends in executive compensation, we can expect his compensation package to include the elements we discussed earlier: base salary, bonus, stock options, and RSUs. Let's look at the publicly disclosed compensation for the previous fiscal year, 2023, to get a sense of the magnitude. According to Rogers' 2024 Management Information Circular, Tony Staffieri's total compensation for 2023 was approximately $12.7 million CAD. This figure encompasses his base salary, bonus, share-based awards, including stock options and RSUs, and pension value and non-equity incentive plan compensation. Breaking down the 2023 compensation further, his base salary was $1.4 million CAD. He received a bonus of $2.1 million CAD, which was tied to the company's performance against its financial and strategic objectives. The value of share-based awards, stock options, and RSUs granted amounted to approximately $8.4 million CAD. Pension value adjustment and other compensation accounted for the remainder. It's important to note that these figures represent the compensation for a specific fiscal year and can fluctuate from year to year based on company performance, individual performance, and changes in the structure of the compensation package. Now, looking ahead to the compensation for the fiscal year 2024, which will be disclosed in their 2025 Management Information Circular, it's reasonable to expect a figure that is in a similar range, potentially with some variation depending on Rogers' financial performance in 2024 and any changes to Mr. Staffieri's compensation structure. Factors that could influence his 2024 compensation include the successful integration of the acquisition of Shaw Communications. This was a significant event for Rogers, and the CEO's role in navigating this integration would likely be a key factor in determining his bonus and overall evaluation. The company's financial performance in 2024. Revenue growth, profitability, and subscriber numbers would all be important metrics. The performance of Rogers' stock price. This would impact the value of his stock options and RSUs. Any changes to the overall executive compensation strategy at Rogers. While we don't have the exact figures for 2024 yet, as the disclosure typically happens a few months after the fiscal year ends, the 2023 numbers provide a strong indication of the scale of the CEO's compensation at a company of Rogers' size and importance. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.